Hello friends, welcome to this YouTube video program. In our earlier programs, we have discussed about the use of different sampling techniques under probability sampling method and non-probability sampling method. Friends, for conducting educational research, when before collecting the data, we select a sample. For selecting a sample, we use two types of method. This is as per the nature of the problem, research problem. Then as per the distribution of the population of your study. As a researcher, you are concerned about your research problem, and you better understand that what is the nature of the problem, what is the distribution of the population of your study. Then accordingly, you select a particular sampling technique for selecting a group of sample from the population for conducting your study. And specifically in our earlier video programs, we have discussed about simple random sampling technique, stratified random sampling technique, multi-stage sampling technique, systematic sampling technique, and cluster sampling technique. You see these five sampling techniques that comes under the probability sampling method. And we have also discussed in our program the techniques, the sampling techniques that we use under non-probability sampling method. That is, specifically we have discussed the snowball sampling technique, quota sampling technique, incidental sampling technique, and purposive sampling technique. So friends, after discussing of all the probability and non-probability sampling techniques, today in this program we will discuss about the sampling error. Okay, so what are the sampling errors? Means the possibility of committing some types of sampling errors when we draw a sample. Okay, by using either using probability sampling method or non-probability sampling method. You see friends, starting from the beginning, I have said many a time that research is a very systematic and scientific work. And you see, so far as error in research, in educational research is concerned, no educational studies or the research that we conduct in the discipline of different social sciences, subjects or disciplines, okay, maybe in psychology, anthropology, economics, sociology, okay, you cannot say that your research is free of error. Okay, so when we compare with the research in physical sciences with social sciences, we find that the quantum of error is comparatively less that we occur in the physical sciences, because most of the physical science research is based upon the experimental method. Okay, in education, psychology, and other disciplines of social science, we also use this experimental method for conducting our research, but at the same time we also use different other research methodologies, just like we conduct historical method, we conduct our study by using the philosophical method, we conduct different descriptive study with the experimental study. So in education, when we use experimental method, means here we are controlling the variables, we are preparing two groups, control and experimental group, with certain control by randomization and pairing. So that's why the quantum of error in experimental research is comparatively less than the quantum of error that we make in other methods. So again, as a follower of education, as a student of education, as a practitioner of education, we should understand that where there is the possibility of making error as a researcher. Okay, you see, starting from the very beginning of your research, starting from selection of a research problem. Okay, so then after stating the objective, stating the hypothesis, then using a particular sampling method for selecting sample for your study. So every stage there is the possibility of making certain error. Okay, but as a researcher, your efforts should minimize the error, or you can say not to do any type of error consciously. Okay, so unconsciously many a time by default we also commit certain error. So accordingly, you see, when we draw a sample by using any method, so here there is the possibility of making certain error. Okay, so today in this program we will discuss that what are the different types of errors which is possible when we conduct a sample for our study. So before discussing the sampling error, let us try to discuss the concept of the error, what type of error we can do in our research. So you see, the measure estimated from the sample is called as the statistics. We have two concepts here. So when there is a population, we are selecting a sample from the population. So two things, one is the population and other is the sample. Many a time I have said that you can say that your sample is a representative sample when the sample measurement is more or less same with the population measurement. Okay, let the size of the population is 1000 and the size of the sample is 10% of the population, that is 100. So let you are administering a test upon a group of sample, that is upon 100 subject, and if the same test you will administer upon the 1000 population, and if you will compare the mean score of the population measurement and the sample measurement, if the mean scores are more or less same, okay, let the population mean is 55 and the sample mean is let 54, so here difference is only 1. So such type of, if you are getting very close difference, then you can say that your sample is representing the population, means all the characteristics of this of the population are reflecting in the sample. So that's why you are getting a equal measurement. Okay, you are not getting a huge difference between the sample measurement and the population measurement. You see, as I have said that the measure estimated from the sample is called as the statistics. Okay, and the measure estimated from the population is called as the parameter. I'm saying two things here, two terms I'm using. One is the statistics and other is the parameter. Okay, so when we are administering a test and taking the score of a test upon a group of sample, then we can say the score that you are getting, the mean score or the standard deviation, that is the statistics. And when you are targeting the entire population, here I am not telling about the sample, entire population, and you are administering a test, you are getting certain score and you are calculating the mean score or the standard deviation. Okay, and the measurement that you will get when you are targeting the entire unit of the population, that is called as parameter. So friends, here you see we are getting two measurement here. One is the statistics that's come from the sampling measurement, and other is the parameter that comes from the population measurement. And the difference between the sample estimates, that is the statistics, and population estimates, that is the parameter, is called as sampling error. Friends, try to understand. Again, I am saying that you have two types of measurement. One measurement what you are doing from taking a sample, then other measurement what you are doing taking from the entire unit of the population. So if you are getting, there is a difference between the measurement score or the mean score or the standard deviation scores of sample and population, means statistics and parameter, then you can say that is because of a sampling error. It is called as a sampling error. So you should clear about this concept, that what is a statistics, what is a measurement, and what is a sampling error, and when sampling error is occur, you should understand it. Then again, let us try to discuss that. You see, sample studies are subject to sampling and non-sampling errors. So I am saying here two types of error. One is the sampling error and other is the non-sampling error. So non-sampling error is also called as the measurement error. So we are committing two types of error, in sampling error and non-sampling error. When we are drawing, when we are using any method for selecting a sample, that's called as the sampling error. And when we are using the test upon the groups, and if you are making any error, that's called as the non-sampling error, again which is are of a random and constant in nature. Okay, certain errors are random in nature, means when we are using the random sampling technique, and certain errors are constant in nature. Okay, so friends, let us try to, that is also constant in constant in nature, that is also called as systematic error. So friends, let us try to discuss with taking certain examples that how the errors are possible in sampling. First of all, the possibility of sampling error, as I have said that some errors are the sampling error when we are drawing a sample, adopting a sampling technique. And the second is that the non-sampling error when we are doing a type of measurement, okay, upon the selected sample. When you are administering a test, when you are administering a questionnaire, okay, then it is also again in two types, you can say random error and systematic error. So in four different blocks now we can say that sampling error means random sampling error, means sampling error when we are selecting a sample by using the random method, and we are making sampling error systematically also. Again, when we are drawing a sample by using the random method, we are also committing certain measurement related error, and we are also committing certain measurement related systematic error. So this is four types of error, type 1, 2, 3 and 4. You can say A, B, C and D. Okay. So let us try to understand what is A type of error, B type of error, C types of error and D types of error. Let us first try to understand sampling error when we are adopting the sampling method, that is the simple random sampling technique. Okay. You see, when you select a sample randomly, sometimes selection of a single unit of the sample affects the entire sample statistics, entire sample measurement. You try to understand. We are using here simple random sampling, means by lottery method. By lottery method you can draw a sample. Okay. So when you are drawing a sample by using the lottery method, so many a time there is the possibility of a single selection of a single unit, okay, that affects the entire measurement of the sample group. Just like, let you have collected data of 10 people about their daily wages. Daily wages means how much income they are doing every day. So you are taking data of 10 persons, 10 people, that is also by using the lottery method, means random method, simple random sampling method. So let the first person in your sample through random method, you received the data that the daily income is 250 rupees. Second person 280 rupees. Third person 300 rupees. Fourth person again 250 rupees. Fifth person 400 rupees. Sixth person 200 rupees. Seventh person 550 rupees. Eighth person 150 rupees. Ninth person 270 rupees. And 10th person's daily income is like 8,000. You see, serial number 1 to serial number 9 of your sample, their income is within 100, 200, 300, 280, 400, 500. Okay. But the 10th unit of the sample, his or her daily income is 8,000. It is in 1000. Okay. So here the units of 10, the 10 units of the sample, you are getting one extreme unit, which is the daily wages is very high, that is 8,000. Okay. So when you are calculating the average score, the average income of this 10 samples, so what you are getting? You are getting total is here, if you will add all income of these 10 persons, you will get that 10,650 rupees. And if you calculate the average, if you divide it by 10, then you will get 1065. You see, the first person's income is 250 rupees, but you are saying that in the group average score is, means average income is 1065. You see, what is the difference? Who is getting 250 rupees individual score? You are saying that on an average you are getting 1065 rupees. So here I am saying you are making such type of error when you are selecting a sample by using a random sampling method, because you do not have any control upon the randomization. So a single extreme score, maybe very high score or maybe very low score, directly that effect that keeps certain impact or that influence the result of the entire group. So you should keep in your mind when for eliminating such type of error in your research. And we do the second type of error, that's called as the B type of error. Means when you are drawing a sample, you are also committing certain systematic error. Just like you see, this is a type of constant error, we call it is the systematic error, and this is also called as bias in sampling. So many a time what you are doing certain bias. Okay, what bias? You see, drawing sample from a favorable location. You are using a sampling method. You are getting one area. Let 5 schools you are getting the definite school you are getting, but what you are doing, that schools are far from your place, your home place. So that's why you are selecting sample from nearby areas. Okay, so means the schools that has been come in your sampling technique, you are not going to that school, rather you are going to a nearby school because of your biasness. Okay, so when the researcher collect data because of the researcher's biasness and select a sample of his or her biasness, then you will say that you are doing a type of systematic error, you are doing a type of constant error. So here also if you select by making such type of bias, select a sample by making such type of bias, then here it is difficult in generalizing the result upon the population. Then third, we will discuss that the non-sampling random error, means you are selecting a sample by using the random sampling technique, but you are also making certain non-sampling measurement related error. Let us try to discuss. You see, many a time the tools that we use for collecting data, many a time we use the faulty tools. Okay, let you see, we have prepared a test of achievement, but the scores, but the items that you have included in the achievement test, that is the items are not from real achievement, or you can say the items are from other variable, let aptitude. Okay, and when we are preparing developing a test for measuring the aptitude of the subjects, of the students, but wrongly we have taken certain items, that items is not measuring the achievement of the subjects, aptitude of the subjects, that it measures the achievement of the subject or intelligence of the subject. So here you see, when we develop the tool, very cautiously we should develop, otherwise there is the possibility of making certain error. Then many a time you will find that incomplete coverage of sample or non-response. So you have collected data, okay, let 100 sample, you have collected data from 100 sample, but you will find that in the questionnaire, in the field questionnaire, many subjects, many students, many teachers, they have not attempted all the items. So what you are doing, you are as a researcher, many a time, because of the biasness, you are, as a researcher, you are making it tick, or you are filling it, you are completing it. That is wrong, that is absolutely wrong. So when you are getting a non-response in a questionnaire, certain items are filled and certain items are not responded, so what to do? Okay, so that's why many a time what we do, we take let 100 sample we have to take, we take 110. Okay, so 10-20 samples we take more, because in case of, because of this non-response and rejection of any of the tool, any of the field tool, then we can use the other tool. So by doing it, you can also minimize the error. Then many a time defects in data collection also, when we are collecting data, we also make certain errors. Okay, let we have given in a test, we have given 20 minutes of time, so many a time you will find that we are giving the test for unlimited time to the subjects. Okay, so this is also a type of error, means we do not have control upon such type of error. We are giving unlimited time, we are giving unlimited opportunity to the subject. So what they will do, they will read the books, they will practice it, then they can make it right. So friends, we do some types of non-sampling error when we select a sample by using the random sampling technique, that is called as the where the use of faulty tools of measurement or non-response of the tools that we have used. Then the fourth types of error, that's called as the non-sampling, but it is a systemic error, it's a constant error. Okay, you see, it occurs when we provide certain extra time to the examiner. It says, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes in a test of general mental ability. So, as a teacher, or if you are a teacher, you must have engaged yourself. You must have performed a type of invigilation duty. Okay, maybe for school examination, for college examination. So you will find that examination is going on in many rooms in a college, in a school, but few invigilators, what they are doing, they are giving 2 minutes more to the students, 3 minutes, 5 minutes more to the students. So you see, in 5 minutes, let it is a test of achievement, let it is a test for mental ability. Within this 5 minutes of time, many students can attempt 4-5 questions more. So in comparison to the result of other students, you will find that that group of students may score better because they have received certain more time. So that's why you are giving a systematic error. You are making a systematic error here because of you are giving more time to the students. Okay, then this is a systematic defect in measurement of the sample. So that's why what we should do, the rules and regulations, the guidelines that has been given in the tools, we should maintain it properly, but many a time it doesn't happen. So friends, you see, we commit two types of error. Okay, random error and systematic error. Again, the sampling error and non-sampling, that is the measurement types of error. But here we can say, you see, you are making sampling error and non-sampling error. So the quantum of sampling error and the quantum of non-sampling error, it when it consolidates, it creates a total error. So total error that includes sampling error plus non-sampling error. So friends, as a researcher, your efforts should minimize the error. Your efforts should deeply involved in the study. You should understand the population, you should understand the sample, you should understand the sampling technique that you are using. Okay, and whatever units you are getting in your sampling technique, you should try to take that unit. And as tool is also related with the sampling unit, so that's why the tools that you are using, you prepare a very good tool. You shouldn't give any space of any type of error in the tools. Okay, all items should be properly designed, and the time that you are giving for administering the tool upon the sample, you should give time as per the guidelines. Okay, you shouldn't give less time, or you shouldn't give more time of the exact time. Okay, like 20 minutes time you are giving, give 20 minutes time, not 1 minute less or 1 minute more. So if you, as a researcher, if you are cautious about such things, then definitely you can curb the errors that which is possible in sampling. So friends, today we discussed about the sampling error. Okay, and the concept of sampling error, then what are the different types of error we commit when we select a sample. I think this will help you for your understanding and at the same time for conducting your research. In our next program, we will discuss the tools and techniques that we use for collecting data in our research. Thank you.